Hello everybody and welcome back to Last Epoch. We're using our Void Knight, our Racing Strike Void Knight today. And I guess we can just go ahead and do this arena. Honestly, I think this is my favorite build at this point. He's just kind of a tank that runs around and just destroys everything as you go. Like the orbs that we have going around more or less take care of most things. And then let's see, let's go ahead and grab this. And then when you get a big group like that, you just pop the left click button down for the erasing strike, and it's just like boom, bye. There's something super satisfying about doing that. There's just something super satisfying about doing that. So I don't know. We may focus on this character for a while. I'm kind of tired of playing my other characters. I like the idea of just kind of running around and then slamming things like this. It's fun. You get bogged down by a bunch of stuff, you throw down your erasing strike, and it's just like, bye. See you later. Have fun with that. It's like this, I'm sorry, like, I know there's just something... What am I trying to... I have a thought that I'm trying to put together. I know it's taking me forever to do it. Let me waffle a little bit and stall so I can get my thought put together. When it comes to Path of Exile 2, I have made it very clear that there are certain parts of that game that I'm not a fan of when it comes to the way that combat just kind of goes. You have these random spikes in difficulty. I like it to be just kind of consistent. And then with this game, I've made it clear that I do have some issues with the fact that it feels too easy a lot of the time. And this build kind of highlights that, but at the same time, when the easy gameplay is like, what am I looking for here? When the easy gameplay has elements to it that make you feel like a badass, even though it's easy, like this build does, that's the fun part. Like, it's the overpowered, godlike, everything falls before me, I am the badass. Like, that's really what I think we're all going. See what I mean? That's just satisfying. I don't know. I know some people, including myself, struggle with the whole, we don't want our games to be like trivially easy, but at the same time, sometimes trivially easy, when it still makes you feel like a badass, is fun. And this build kind of has that going for it. Like, you just run through things and they just kind of melt before you. And then, you pop down your erasing strike, and even though, you're not having to put any effort into it, there's just something satisfying about watching your character literally just erase a bunch of enemies around you. It's just, I don't know. And that kind of, I guess that kind of gets to the point of, like, what makes a game fun. Like, I think difficulty matters, but I don't think it matters nearly as much as just the character you're playing making you feel a certain way about it, Like, this character right here, even though this is like ridiculously easy, this is by far the easiest character to play with on this game that I have access to right now anyway. Like, this is by far the easiest character. I'm just running around letting my orbs do all the work for me for the most part. And then, when I get a rare, or when I start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, just pop down an erasing strike and they go away. So, difficulty is definitely an aspect of it, but it's definitely not even close to the most important one. Because, I look forward to playing this character, right? Like, every time we've been going through the episodes and we've been going through and trying to, like, have some diversity and everything. But to be honest with you, I've just been, the last several episodes, I've just been like, all right, can we get back to the Void Knight? And it's because, I don't really need any idols. It's because, he has a satisfying gameplay loop. It's just the way it goes. And that's really, for Path of Exile, Last Epoch, Diablo, whatever these ARPG games you want to play, the game loop itself is what makes the game satisfying, and not the challenge, not even really the gear. Like, it's fun to find gear and everything, but if you're not satisfied by the loop of, because there's going to be repetition. You can't get away from repetition. No matter how creative they try to get, there's only so many cool things you can come up with, and you know you're gonna have a lot of repetition in these games. So these guys really need to focus on creating classes and characters that give you a gameplay loop that feels satisfying. And I don't know that there's a specific, like, obviously for this character, the formula is, you know, you're basically able to just run around the map, and then every once in a while, and that's, you know, that's kind of the contrast thing, I think. I'm working my way through a thought here, so I know I'm kind of meandering a little bit, but I'm working my way through a thought here. And my thought is that, you know, what makes this build satisfying is that for the most part, you're just running around, and then every once in a while you throw down an erasing strike, and it's like, that's the contrast that makes it like, oh, you suck. That's the contrast that makes it fun, because, oh, gotta go the correct way around here. Because for the most part, you're just running around, and then every once in a while, you're just throwing down a slam, and that gives you that little punctuation of, ooh, you know, the little dopamine hit of, ooh, that was nice. You know what I'm saying? So you're running around, and you're just kind of slamming stuff. For the most part, they're all just kind of dying. Right? And then every once in a while, you get yourself into a situation where you're like, all right, it's time for the erasing strike. Like for this guy, boom, there we go, he's dead. You get that tiny little dopamine hit of, hold on, I gotta focus here so we don't die, because in this game you don't get a second chance. You just have to, you know, you get that little bit of dopamine hit, and I think that's the most important part. It's like, you know, people want difficulty. They say they want to feel a sense of accomplishment, but then, you know, people they make a game difficult, and then all of us, like normally by now I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to be done with this. I'm ready to be done with this video. But with this character, because it's just, you know, there's just a lot of satisfaction in it. I'm like, let's do a couple more maps. I'm ready to keep going. I'm ready to just keep on cruising. Ready to keep on going. Let's do it. And this feeling right here. This feeling right here is what I'm looking for in all of the games that I play. Like in both of the ARPG games that I play, this right here is the feeling I'm looking for. I'm wading through the bodies of my enemies, and then every once in a while I get that nice little dopamine hit, right? Of throwing down the strike, and everything just kind of dies. You know, and then every once in a while, you know, you want to go fight something that gives you a little bit of a challenge, like say you want to go fight a boss or something like that. Now, unfortunately, Last Epoch doesn't really make that something that's super feasible or consistent. So, you know, kind of is what it is. What am I supposed to be doing? Slay the... All right, so we need to move this way here. Okay, that's one. Let's go this way. I think we'll finish this map, and then we'll go and... I think we'll finish... Well, let's get out of here. And then we'll go ahead and finish out this episode by, ideally, I think, finishing out this here. So let's go ahead and do the Ruins of Solarum. I think this is actually a boss fight, so let's go ahead and do that. But, you know, this right here... When a class makes you look for this is the problem with Path of Exile for me right now, is like the classes are interesting and fun, but none of them make me look forward to playing them. And I think this character here kind of illustrates why that is. You know, it's like I'm not really interested in feeling like I have to constantly struggle against the game. I just want to play. Thought he was down here. Guess not. Okay. Oh. As I continue to just walk right into his abilities there. Let's just try to get this going. Come on. There's way too much going on here. All right, that takes... Oh, get out of that. Get out of that. Get out of that, whatever that is. There we go. No. Getting low on potions here. Okay, sorry, I can't talk too much because I need to focus here. Come on, pick up the potion. Ooh, come on, just die. Just die. Come on, just die. That takes care of him. All right. We'll go ahead and pick up... Oh, I didn't mean to... No. Okay, hold on. What do I want? Avoid resistance, chance to ignite, damage leech. I'm always going to take resistances whenever possible. All right, cool. We'll pick up that body armor, head back in, and... I guess we can move on to the next one here. Like I said, like normally I'd be ready to be done, but this character's fun enough that, you know what, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and then, you know. Okay, let me do this here, because I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure we're going to the correct one. So I want to go to the level 71, not this one over here. So let's go here, and then we'll hop into the next area, and we'll do a few more of these. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I think that for the foreseeable future, we're just going to play this build, because this build is actually fun to me. The other builds are fun-ish, but they have a little bit too much in the way of finickiness for me. I don't know. I don't even really care what he has on him. We're just gonna kill him, take his stuff, and move on. All right, cool. Oh, there's nothing over there. Let's go this way. We are supposed to slay all the champions. But like, this is really what I'm trying to get to when it, like, to be perfectly honest with you, the balance that we just had where the boss required a little bit of like focus and challenge to be able to do that, I want that, but I want it every once in a while the way that just happened, where for the most part, we're just cruise controlling, boom, 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 everything's going great, boom, boom, boom. Every once in a while, bam, let's slam some stuff. I used it a little bit too early, but that's okay. We'll come back over here and do it again. And this guy requires a couple of little hits, so we're having to, you know, it's not irritatingly slowing me down. It's just, you know, he's a slightly tougher thing that we have to pay a little bit more attention to. Right? And I think that's kind of, I don't know, like I have it's like everything, there's nuance to everything, and I say that all the time in my chat videos, there's nuance to everything. It's like, I don't really want games to be trivially easy, but then again, like, if you make it trivially easy, but it's still fun to play, then I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is more or less trivially easy, but it's also just fun. It's just fun. I don't have that same, can we get this over with vibe that I get with any of the other characters that I play on any of the other games. I'm just kind of able to just zone out and go and let it go. And I know that to some people that's going to be like, oh my god, that's the worst thing ever. It's like, okay, I mean, for you, for me, I like to be able to just kind of, oh, no, let me move. I like to be able to just kind of zone out and, you know, just enjoy the game. I want to be able to just enjoy the game. I'm here to, I mean, aside from just, you know, me being here to do content, you know, outside of that, I'm here to just, you know, get things done. Let's see here. We can go ahead. We'll put that in the thing. I mean, I don't really even know. Right, we'll put these in the... So let's do one or two more of these. I always like to go after the affix shards and the runes here, so that later on when I remember what it is I'm supposed to be doing, we have plenty of those to use. So yeah, I think this will probably be our last one, because I do have other recordings I need to get to. No matter how much fun I'm having with any of my games, it's you gotta move on. And I also just don't want to burn myself out either. Like, you know, doing this for 15 or 20 minutes a day, I can do this. This is fun. This is fun. We leveled up at some point, and I didn't notice. Nice. Let's hit the chest there. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Moving on. We are supposed to be slaying enemies to locate the unstable rifts. So let's do that. Wait for our racing strike. Now, I have to say, there was an ability... I had the ability at one point to be able to just spam my erasing strike, and I really need to figure out what that was, because I stopped doing it at one point because it was eating up too much of my mana, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a problem, and if you can exercise a little bit of self-discipline, I could do, you know, one or two, I could do 2 or 3 omelet probably at a time, and then wait for mana to come back. Because for the most part, I'm not really using my mana at all. Alright, that takes care of that. So let's go back to our thing here. Hop into here. What am I working on right now? So I don't remember what the button is for. Let's see, skills. Here we go. So where's my erasing strike? There was something that allowed me to that removed the cooldown for it, but I don't remember what it was. There it is. No longer has a cooldown. Huh. Cooldown recovery speed. I mean, I don't have any points to spend anyways, but... I don't know. It'd be kind of nice to be able to just boom, boom. But for now, we're just gonna do the level up. So let's see. No, wait. What am I looking for? Passives. We are currently, I believe, working on trying to get up to that. Maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks. Or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links for those of you who prefer to go that route. But again, thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for our next video, and I'll see you then.